Hello everyone, my name is Varun Murugesh and I'm back with a new video to discuss more about part-time jobs versus casual jobs for international students in Australia. Let's get started. Firstly, let's try to understand who should take up these jobs and what will be the benefits of these jobs. So if at all there is a student who wants to be completely independent financially from his parents or the family support, in that case he will have to take up any kind of jobs in order to pay for his rent, bills, utilities, phone bills or food expenses and so on. So that's the purpose of these student jobs in Australia. So there are basically two types of jobs, that is part-time and casual. As the name says, part-time, there will be a particular contract time or contract hours for a student to work regularly in every week so that he will be getting a regular income every week. On the other hand, we have casual jobs. These casual jobs, as the name says, it's completely on casual basis. If at all there is a need in a particular store, they will give you a message and you go work for the owner, get the money and come back. So this is the basic difference between part-time versus casual job. Based on my experience for the past 7 months, let me try to give a brief comparison between part-time and casual jobs with regards to salary earned, benefits, ease of work and so on. Starting with a part-time job. In this particular job, for a particular week, you will have a fixed contract hours. For example, say 18 hours. So in that week, you will have to work 18 hours regularly every week until you get fired. So that's how the pattern goes. Provided if you're doing very well in the work, there is a chance to get extra work as well. Extra work is not a burden here, it will increase your salary at the end. So that's how it goes, because the pay will be given based on the number of hours you work. On the other hand, if you see the casual job, the working hours is completely irregular. For example, in this week you will be asked to work only 3 hours. In the next week you might be asked to work for 10 hours. So in that case the income will be fluctuating and it is not at all regular. That's the first point. Second point is about the tax. What is the amount of tax you're going to pay in part-time as well as casual job? If you talk about the part-time job, the tax paid will be comparatively less than the casual job. Why? Because in case of part-time job, the salary earned will be comparatively less as well when you compare it to the casual job. I will talk about the prices and salary a bit later. Third point is about the workplace. If you're into a part-time job, your workplace will be a fixed place for a particular period of time, like 3 or 4 months. You will be working only for the same store or for the same company in a particular location, and there is very less chance of you traveling to some other locations. But in case of casual jobs, if there is a need of a person or an employee in another work location, you will have to move from your own work location to another work location to do the work and earn the money. So that's how the transportation or the work location changes based on part-time and casual job. Let's now talk about the salary, or we can say the hourly wage or the minimum wage for a student or any person who is aged at least 20 years. So let's talk about the part-time job first. After tax, the hourly pay for 1 hour, it's gonna be nearly $23. More specifically, if you look at the salary slip, it's going to be mentioned 22.8 as the minimum rate after tax. But on the other hand, if you see the casual job, the pay is quite high, which is nearly $29. More specifically, it's $28.8 after tax. So you can have a small comparison, right, between part-time salary and the casual salary. Exactly. Talking about the leaves, if you're working as a part-time or it's also called as a permanent job, so in that case you will be having sick leave and annual leave. So if at all you fall sick in particular month, you can easily take up that leave and that will be paid, provided you have the contracted hours when you take that sick leave. Also the annual leave, if at all you would like to go for a vacation or take a leave to do complete your assignments or so on, in that case that annual leave will be paid. But in case of casual jobs, there is no concept of leaves at all, because all the money will be paid initially as a salary. That's why there is higher wage for a casual job when you compare it to a part-time job. There is no leave at all. So if you don't work today, you will be not getting any kind of salary or wage, even though you're sick or you're taking annual leave or whatever it is. The payment will be given only if you work for that day. Let's now talk about terminating an employee. In case of part-time jobs, terminating an employee is not as easy as we think. It involves a lot of documentation process and so on. So in that case, the managers and owners will try to convince you and encourage you to give your best in case of work to retain you. That is one advantage, provided if you're committing a very big mistake, or you're going to create something like a robbery or theft, or kind of bad things with the colleagues. In that case, there will be an immediate termination. In case of casual jobs, the termination is very frequent based on the company's profit and loss. If the company is doing very well, they will retain you, giving you enough number of working hours so that you can earn well. If the company is doing bad, they will they will fire you immediately when the company's share or the market value is going down. So that's how the termination of employees in case of part-time and casual jobs is working. Let's now understand about the accommodation. If you want to find a new accommodation, how is this part-time and casual job is going to influence you in finding your new home? If at all you're going to find a new home, the main owner of the apartment or the house will first ask you if you're working as a casual or part-time job employee. If you're working as a part-time employee, there is very good chance that it's easier to get the house. But in case of casual, there is no permanent or job guarantee, right? So in that case, the owner will be hesitating to give you the property. In that case, you will have to get some recommendation letters from your manager or the owner if he's very close to you, or the colleagues who are in a good position since a long time in that company. That recommendation letter will only help you to get the accommodation or the property in Melbourne. So that's how the part-time jobs or the casual jobs will influence you in finding your new home. Let's now understand about the income fluctuations. As I told earlier, in case of part-time jobs, you will be working minimum number of hours, so you will definitely get that minimum amount every week. But if you're given additional work based on your performance, you will earn much more. But in case of casual jobs, the income is not at all fixed, provided you're exceptionally doing well. If you're doing really well, then they will be giving you regular shifts or regular working hours every week so that you will get more money. But if you're doing above average or below average, in that case, the income will be fluctuating because they will call you only when there is a need. Yeah. Let's now understand about public holidays, or we can say government holidays here. If at all you're working during government holidays or public holidays, the salary will be multiplied by 2 for that day. For example, on a particular day like Friday, you're working for 8 hours, and let's say you will be earning $200 on a regular basis. But during public hours, that $200 will be exactly multiplied by 2, and you will be getting $400 for that particular public holiday working. That is applicable mostly for part-time jobs and not for casual jobs, because in casual job, the basic price itself is higher, and if they have to give you the public holiday allowance, it will be more than $400, and they would not want to give that particular amount to a casual employee. Instead, they will replace you with a part-time employee and to manage their own expense, from the company's point of view. So that is one disadvantage of casual job, where you will not get any kind of government holidays, provided there is very big events going on in Melbourne. Yes. Talking about the minimum hours, in part-time jobs, there is a minimum hour guarantee of 10 hours, at least 10 hours. So mostly the international students will take up a contract for 16 to 18 to 20 hours, and if at all they have more time, if for example if they don't have assignments or exams, they will work more. But in case of casual job, the minimum guaranteed hours is 3 hours, and that is also not guaranteed every week. For a month, at least 3 hours will be given. Yes, if you're working really well, so you can break up all that and go for further higher. Let's now talk about weekends, that is Saturdays and Sundays. If you're working on Saturdays, you will be given 25% more than your regular earning during your weekdays, and if you're working on Sundays, you will be given 50% more than your regular earnings during your weekdays. The same goes with casual as well. Yes, so that was a brief comparison I wanted to give you about the part-time and casual jobs based on my previous experience, and more about my job, what kind of job I've been doing and what I'm doing right now will be told a bit later once everything gets settled down. Let me now talk about the night shifts. So this is one of the most interesting point, where a lot of students earn much more higher than other students who work in the weekdays or during the daytime. If at all you're working in the night times, that is between 11 p.m. to 2 p.m., your minimum rate for a part-time will be $35, and for a casual it's going to be $40. And if you're working from midnight 2 p.m. to morning 9 a.m., your minimum charge for part-time will be around $45, and for casual it's going to be about $51. And all the breaks during the night shifts are also paid breaks. As we know, the earnings for night shift is comparatively higher than the day jobs. The work difficulty is something we have to consider. There is a lot of work difficulty involved in the night shifts, which will be told a bit later, because I have been not into that, so maybe I will collect some information and then give it to you. So do we have any high paying jobs for international students in Australia? The answer is yes, provided if you're ready to sacrifice your physical energy and work much more harder, or develop a skill and utilize that to make money. So that's how it works. For example, one of the high paying jobs I have been into is teaching. In Melbourne or Australia, we can say there are a lot of students expecting tutors or teachers in order to train them for science, mathematics, languages, and so on. So I have been into teaching mechanical engineering to bachelor students. Since I'm a master student, I'm able to do that also based on my previous work experience related to teaching. So that is one of the high paying jobs where your hourly rate will be nearly $65 to $80 based on what you charge on your skill level. So that's how it goes. And the second one is cleaning job. It could be in the form of cleaning trams, apartment corridors, and so on, which is very highly respectful and also high paying job here. The third one is construction jobs, which we all know is really hard because it involves a lot of your time and physical energy. The fourth one is forklift drivers. So if you're able to get your forklift driving license here, it's very easy to make money by working in construction sites. The next one is bartenders or waiters in pubs and clubs. They are going to make a very good money because most of the pubs and clubs will be open in the night time. So you will be getting the night shift allowance to increase your earnings. So these are some of the high part-time jobs which I have heard or I have been into. And now let me tell you about a regular retail job which most of the international students will be a part of. So it could be in the form of, a company or a showroom. For example, we have the chemist warehouse, it's a pharmaceutical industry. We have supermarkets like Woolworths, Coles, and we have some, premium clothing industries like Nike, Adidas, and so on. So these are some of the retail stores or retail companies which most of the international students will be working, as a student. So these are the student jobs international students wish to get easily in Australia in order to manage their expenses and proceed their life until they finish their course and find a proper full-time job in their field of study. Also, I would like to spotlight something about working as a professional engineer in the part-time or casual basis as a student. So this is something which depends on that individual's capacity, and I will try to explain this in the future video where you can work as a professional project engineer, mechanical engineer, electrical engineer, or so on in a real company, and you'll be working something in your field itself, and that experience will be adding values to your CV. So that is something which is really great, and it's not that easy to get, a bit hard, but with certain amount of qualities and with improvisations in certain things, it's easier to get. So with this, let's wind up this video, and I will see you soon in the next video. Thank you.